This is the warning. It is the 31st of July, and Donald Trump is sinking. All of the polling demonstrates that Trump and MAGA are unpopular with the American people. Look at these numbers. He is collapsing with independent voters in poll after poll after poll. Now, two things that can be true at once, but are reported as mysteries of life by the addled and cloistered Washington, D.C. press corps are this. Both the National Schumercratic Party and MAGA can both be epically unpopular at the same time. The Democratic Party is the oldest in the world. The Republican Party is the third oldest. Today, Americans look at that Democratic Party, the party of Jim Clyburn and Chuck Schumer, and they are aghast. They see the appeasement, they see the weakness, and they come to the same conclusion that Senator Cory Booker reached. What they want to see is an opposition to the things that as Americans, we have been taught and told by presidents of both parties all of our lives were right and wrong. Here is President Reagan in his farewell address talking about immigrants in American society.
You can go to live in France, but you cannot become a Frenchman. You can go to live in Germany or Turkey or Japan, but you cannot become a German, a Turk, or Japanese. But anyone from any corner of the earth can come to live in America and become an American.
Today, we live in a country of masked secret police, and some of the leading journalistic names and brands assess all of this and say, we, from a position of neutrality, declare Trump is a genius and Trump is winning. Look at all the power he has accrued. Never mind, the accrual of that power has come at the cost of demolitions of some of the cornerstones of our society. The Bill of Rights, the Fourth Amendment, the 14th Amendment, the idea of judicial supremacy, the idea that the President of the United States is restrained, the concept of the checks and balances. In 6 months' time, what Donald Trump has done is cut through Congress like a hot knife through butter when it comes to asserting powers that he doesn't actually possess. And mark my words, it has been a disaster for the country. Trillions of dollars of debt. A third-tier, three-level federal law enforcement agency, ICE, transformed into Trump's army of thugs. All of this has happened with anemic responses from leaders not of the Democratic Party, but of the Schumercratic leadership, the go-along, get-along Democrats of Trump's Washington, the senators that voted for Kristi Noem, the people that helped Trump assemble his cabinet. And where did the appeasement and delusion lead? Well, it led to appellate court judge Emile Beauvais. And worse is coming, because appeasement brings nothing but more aggression. Donald Trump stepped in front of the nation on January 20th, 6 months ago, and what he did was repudiate the Atlantic Charter, the vision for how the free world was to function, how it was to exist, how harmony was to be achieved after humanity's deadliest event was resolved, after the Second World War was won. And yet, for no good reason other than the expiry of time and memory and a loss of connection to sacrifice, it came to be that Donald Trump threw it all into the trash heap and said, in order for America to be great again, two things have to happen. One, everything that happened before must be declared as loss, must be held out as decay, and rejected in favor of the accrual of my power. in my name. And so I can exercise my judgments about how to make the country great. Whatever that is, and there is a word for it, that word is tyranny. Should never be confused with democracy. 49.5% of the American people elected Donald Trump, but they did not elect him to obliterate what cannot be obliterated by an election, what is etched into granite for all time, and that is the inalienable rights of the American people. They don't exist at Donald Trump's whim, and that's why we can't tolerate a secret police force and a militarized federal army that preys on the American people, that can make a judgment that says some Americans are less than others, and Americans with brown eyes or brown skin are suspect Americans. No, it is antithetical to every value that we hold dear. Dearness is a word that Thomas Paine used to describe how we should hold freedom. And he talked about the value of freedom, talked about the price of liberty. And when you see in this moment a crashing president and a political party that is unable to walk away from the crash, and another political party that is unable to take advantage of the crash, it makes you wonder if the 1,000 people or so that we're talking about, the leaders, the people who've been elected, who control the parties, that stifle their best young elected members underneath their jackboot, maybe, just maybe, they're not on our side at all. While we share a disgust with MAGA, what most disgusts them is MAGA beat them. And what should most disgust all of us about them is the fact that MAGA beat them, and they won't walk away. Because until and unless they do, we can't get to better. And better is how MAGA and Trump are defeated. Because what they stand for and the power they've amassed is un-American. It's not winning. Anybody who tells you it is lying to you. We live in dangerous days with the grave threat bearing down. And the opposition party doesn't function as one because it's led by appeasers who lack good judgment and common sense. We can change that, and we must, because in America, if there are no political parties that can fiercely advocate for liberty, then liberty is gone. And that, as has always been understood, would mark as one of the great tragedies in the history of the world. I'm Steve Schmidt. This is The Warning. I invite you to join this community where I promise to be honest, blunt, and direct about what is happening in this country. America is in crisis. Follow and subscribe to this channel and on Substack. Thank you.